gonna meet Hago's with the shades. So guys, we're gonna go live, guys. Liz, where are we going live, Liz? Where are
We're
we going?
going live on YouTube channel.
YouTube.
So yes, the link is in the video. So just go there quick and just paste it. Copy and paste, Yeah. Can't wait.
Go to www.youtube.com at @YWNBooster. You can check out there. We'll be going there live there with these beautiful people.
Perfect
Hello everyone! Yay!
Yo,
We're live!
What's up?
Welcome, what's up?
How's it going?
Hey guys.
We are live.
Guys, I know we are a few minutes late. It's
Sorry.
African
we
time.
wanted that because we are migrating from one platform to another one.
Yes.
So we need to
birds.
give people time to see the live on Instagram. We are live on Instagram, but just for now, so that you guys can see that you need to come to YouTube and watch this here, okay? Our live podcast is gonna be on YouTube now. It needs to be on YouTube, all right? On Instagram to have all these amazing people with those amazing microphones and talking really clear to your ears. It's not possible to do that on Instagram. So we need to do this on YouTube. So we want you guys to come with us. So can you please, if you are watching this right now, I want to ask you to do something. And I'll ask again later on this podcast. But can you just take a photo of us on YouTube now and post it on your stories?
I'm
And then
literally gonna pose.
you just tag us there. You just tag YWNBooster at YWNBooster on the photo. Just take a photo if you're watching on your computer or if you're watching on your cell phone. You just do a screen grab or and then you post it there and tag YWNBooster. Can you do that, please?
Can you do that?
All right,
I
and
see
then
you
share it
guys
with everybody that
watching.
is watching
Do that.
also,
Do it.
so that we can.
Yo, this
Yeah.
stuff is like mirrored. I can't see.
Yeah.
So
Can you
good.
you go and see
So let's check who is live with us here. It's,
who is live? Who is alive? Who is alive?
all right,
We have 14 folks.
Jen's there.
Hi, Jen.
You guys type some comments. Who is here? Who is here? Who is here with us?
My brother.
So we
Dale
can-
Brooks.
What country are you from?
Dale.
We have 15 people there. So we want to know who you are. Interact with us.
Okay,
Yes.
guys. Also,
All right.
We can't go to you.
So, how did you guys experience last week? Last week was our debut.
that was dope.
Was the first one. How
That was
did
the
you
pilot. I enjoyed it so much. It felt like I was born to live in quarantine and do this. I think I've like,
And live your life like this.
yeah, I think this is my calling.
That's cool, man. Liz, how did you feel? Was it good?
It was so cool to interact with other people. I know we have like social distancing now, but that was like feeling people closer to us. Yes.
I really liked some of the feedbacks that I received from people that watched, like even people here on our base. Like I got feedback from people and they were like, "Guys, that was so cool." It was like the chat, like just talking there and see you guys interacting with us was so cool. So I felt encouraged. Like people were like happy with it. Sam, was it
Yo,
good?
yeah, it was
did your
amazing.
Did your mom like it?
It was a release. Yeah, my mom loved it. Oh, my mom, she only watched it afterwards, but she was like, "You sound really funny, like over a mic." And I was
You're
like,
funny.
Thank you, mom. Glad you paid attention to my voice."
To the
You don't sound like
content.
my son anymore.
Hey. We have Alex there. Welcome, Alex.
Alex.
Oh, welcome to Mia. Hi, Mia.
Mia.
So cool.
Yo.
Welcome, guys. Come in. Whoa,
also
20
Jen.
people, 21 with us already.
Also, Jen with her classic "That's What's Up."
That's what's up.
That's what's up.
That's what's up.
Yeah. We
What-
gotta
what-
have Jen here, eh?
Yes.
Jenny's
Yes.
like,
Okay, Jen. Your
Jenny's the
time's
OG.
coming.
Jen needs to be on the show.
Jen needs to.
Like, and we have to dedicate like a whole.
OMG.
Yeah.
Away.
We have to dedicate like a whole thing to her.
Guys, can I just send a special? I'm asking, but I'm doing already. I just want to send a special kiss and hug to Bianca. She is like very faithful for
She
the 2
was
lives.
the first one to comment
Exactly.
Yeah.
on this.
Shout out
Bianca,
to
you should go
Bianca.
there and write first.
You're gonna win
You
the
know,
prize
yes.
because we're gonna start doing merch and stuff. Like,
Bianca, we love you,
joking.
and we miss you so much. You and your dogs and your llamas. She has.
she
Yeah,
literally
man.
has a llama and a dog
That's true.
and and a cow.
All right, so
Come on.
can we say goodbye to the people on Instagram so that we can end that live there and
Bye,
say
Instagram,
Hi,
folks.
people on Instagram.
Guys, people come to YouTube. We're
Instagram
waiting for
is
you.
so
See you.
lost, yeah.
there you go.
Now it's TikTok.
Guys, we're waiting for you there on YouTube, not Facebook. On YouTube, we're waiting for you right there now. So come and chat with us. Let's have a good time. All right? Good. All right. So as you guys know, yes, Jen, we're bringing you.
Yes.
You're gonna be our.
She says she's a
our guest here.
professional.
Wow. Adriano.
Adriano.
Hello.
Adriano.
Hey, Adriano.
Adriano was here. He
Hello.
did ELS. Here
Oh,
on base.
cool.
That's
So you understand us. You speak
Yes, I
English.
hope so, right, Adriano? Okay, so as you guys have seen already, spoilers, you know that the theme for this week, we're going to be talking about the missionary life. Not just on a normal way, as you always hear, like people telling their beautiful testimonies and how many people have received Jesus and all of that. That's all very important, and we are not really taking the value of that. But we want to tell you guys also some of the backstage stories and things that happen on outreach that we don't usually write that on our newsletters, or we don't tell that on a testimony when we share in a church. So that's what we want to do here tonight. So we have all these amazing people. We're going to introduce ourselves. I know many of you already know who is here, but maybe there are some that don't know. So we're going to introduce ourselves,
Yes.
and then we're going to get right to it. All right?
Yep.
Okay. So,
Sounds good.
all right. Who are you?
Cool. My name is Sam, and I'm from Brazil. Zoo. I'm actually a Khalid. I grew up in South Africa, though. So,
Yeah,
that's who I am.
that's true.
I'm 21 years old, single.
Samuel, are you a missionary?
I'm a missionary. I'm a missionary kid, too. So,
MK.
it's in the blood.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's in the
YWAM's
blood.
in the blood.
And what's that other thing that you also are? You were
Third culture kid.
Third culture kid.
I'm a
yeah?
TCK, third
Yeah.
culture kid.
TCK.
Yeah.
Which means that I grew up out of my parents' home country. Yeah.
You should put that on your Instagram profile.
Hey.
I'm a TCK MK.
You should do an episode.
YWAM,
I'm a
DPS.
TCK.
You guys should do
PO
an episode
box,
of
all of
TCKs.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's true.
Yeah.
Lika.
That's, yes. We get all the TCKs
Lika.
together.
Here we go.
Sweet. Cool.
All right, the girl right next to you.
Yes, I'm also an MCK. I'm also
TCK.
a TCK.
You're ATCK.
ATDT. I'm a missionary kid. Also, like,
Yeah.
lived in a lot of places. I'm married. I'm 31 years old.
Yo,
Yeah.
too much information.
Too much.
TMI.
Yeah, he also said his age, and he said
No,
he
no,
was
I'm joking, I'm
single. Why
joking.
can I
Okay,
not
I'm
say
not
that?
saying my age.
3 months pregnant. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true. But yeah,
Happy Mother's Day.
missionary.
Liar.
Very proud of being a missionary. Love it so much.
Awesome. And we have someone new on the table. At the table,
Drum roll for which other?
we actually have two guests, special guests tonight here with us. So
Who's that
please introduce yourselves.
Yes.
Oh, yes, I get
Oh,
it.
yeah,
You
yeah,
got it.
So my name is Wei Jan. If you're confused, just think of that's the way in January. Wei Jan. I'm from Malaysia.
Wei
and
Jan.
With me, I have
The potato.
Sprout the potato. I don't know if you can see him, but he's my mental health buddy. Has been keeping me sane during this lockdown.
There we
so
go.
So if you wanna check more about that little potato there, Sprout, go to Wei Jen's Instagram, and then you can see all the highlights of
yeah,
the Sprout adventures.
I might just make an Instagram profile for him.
I thought of that. I
go,
think I told Liz,
Sprout.
right, Liz?
Yes, that's
I told you.
I must
maybe
say,
she should-
Sprout's got better photo game than a lot of us here.
That's
So
true. That is so true.
I've seen Sprout all over the base and doing fun stuff.
yeah,
It's really
Sprout
cool.
the missionary potato.
Let's keep ourselves sane.
Yep.
Good. Dylan the Brooks.
Yes, I am Dylan Ethan Brooks, aka Dylan the Ethan, aka the wild adventurous wild man, aka yeah, Dylan. Dylan the boy.
wow.
Yeah,
How old are you? Are you single?
I'm not a missionary kid, but it was a mission growing up. So, but yeah, I'm just yeah, I'm 24. My birthday's in August. Shout out to Mal, guys, because it's his birthday Friday.
Yo,
Yeah,
how old is he
everyone-
turning?
Oh my gosh.
Don't know, but probably like roughly in between 90 and 100. Like I'm not sure here. Like,
So Mal is Dylan's roommate.
but
Guys, go comment there on the comments. I want to see who will guess how old it's Mel turning
Yeah.
on Friday.
But
I
yeah,
wanna, who knows
please,
that?
everyone remember it's Mal's birthday this Friday, and he loves iced tea, like any iced tea, and he loves like white chocolate. So if you wanna do something nice for Mal, yeah,
So we can give him iced tea.
Yeah.
I love iced tea too. It's so good. All right, I'm Junior, and I'm from Brazil. Also, I'm not a missionary kid, but I've been a missionary for a while.
I'm a missionary father.
My yes, I have kids there. We're born in the mission, so my kids are MKs, and yeah, so I really love communicating, and I love doing this, guys. I'm having so much fun. I'm looking forward to every Tuesday so that we can have this time. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yay! So
People are guessing Mel's age here. Like, they are fast answering what you ask.
77,
We got
9, 8.5.
Mal's definitely under
You
that
guys
too.
are commenting that. I'm just reading the comments, not the names, but that's you. Oh, wait, Jen said that he's definitely 102.
yo Rizal.
93,
Rizal said 93. Ashley said 93.
Sure, really, guys?
Oh, damn.
I'm not sure, but I think it's much less, eh?
I think he's in the 70s.
I think I guessed right.
You think so?
77?
I have somewhat of a memory from last year.
Okay, I must. I'm not.
Can
gonna
you
say.
ask him?
I'm too ashamed to ask
Can
him.
someone
I'm
go
gonna
there
ask
to Ikaya, wake him up and ask him?
I'm just like he's probably awake watching Judge Judy right now.
Brian is in
We love you,
Ikaya.
Mel.
Brian, if you hear
Yes,
this, just
we
go
need
there.
official confirmation.
Yes.
If we call him, he's not gonna pick up this time. He doesn't like picking up at
he's
night.
watching Judge Judy right now. Don't disturb that sacred time.
That's so true.
Guys, before we jump in all these really cool stories that we were having that we were gonna talk about today.
Yeah.
We were having a conversation yesterday, I think, in the office, and yeah, we were in the office. We're actually working, guys.
Wow.
Yes. So I was telling the guys that how disappointed I am with this year 2020. You know, like
Why?
that started so well. Like I mean, man,
Too good.
January holiday was
Too good to
really
be true.
good, and we started. We had the base was open. We
Yeah.
had the DTS running,
Yeah.
and then we had the Nation
The
Shenanigans.
We had an
Nations to
amazing
Nations,
Nations to Nations. It was on
So
fire.
true.
A bunch of young people.
You know,
a
weekend,
miniature
you had a
descent.
full school going on, everything like, and then 2020 just crashed. Something went wrong. It just froze, and it needed to be formatted. Now it's like
Almost a third world war happening.
Yeah, it went from like World War III, like
To-
almost, and then like
That dude that died with his daughter in a helicopter.
yeah,
that was a shame.
Kobe
Yeah.
Bryant.
Kobe died,
That was-
and then like everything progressed, and then it was like pandemic.
really.
You know?
It's like man, and then I told the guys, you know, I think if I had that power, I think I would call next year not 2021, but I would call it 2020 2.0
Yes.
or 2020 reborn or
Yeah.
reboot.
There's definitely like a glitch like in the
You know,
system, bro.
let's
like-
try it again. 2020. Let's try it again. You know, let's see if it works because I'm like I think we should just cancel it.
Oh my gosh,
No,
that's true.
we should just
Cancel
skip
the whole year.
all the months and just go to December like next week. Like next week we should skip everything and let's just reset like
Because guys, let's be biblical here. So for God, that doesn't matter that if it is 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, whatever. God's time is not our time, right? Everybody agrees with me with
Yeah,
that. So
yeah,
God
yeah.
wouldn't mind if we call
I don't
it next year
I don't
something
think God will
else.
be offended if we just cancel 2020 now. I think the only people who be offended is definitely the people that made the calendars. That's true. Like, is that Carolina that said that? Like, yeah, like. I'm just, I don't know. I'm either like cancel 2020 or just bring something more crazier. Like, what if aliens
No,
do
man.
come down, or what if like superheroes are real?
Hey,
No,
zombies, man.
Like that would be cool though. Just imagine like a superhero is real now.
Or mermaids.
No, it's like, but because like if there's a superhero, then must be mean like there's a villain or something, you know, like and then like things get intense. I don't know. I'm just like I've been thinking about this for a long time.
Have you been watching Marvel movies lately?
I've just
All
been
of
like,
them.
I don't know. I'm just like, what if something more crazy happens in a pandemic? You know, just like everyone like loses their speech.
Yo, did you see your brother's message here?
What is
Yeah,
that?
people are giving names for the year here.
He was like, must switch 2020 on and off like the Wi-Fi. So just turn off and on again. See if it works.
Someone said SA. Who's SA? I don't know who's SA.
SA, what is your name?
Yeah,
SA.
who are you, SA?
Who are you?
Mel is 42 years old. It's a prank. Oh, the year is a prank. Yes, I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just waiting for Ashton Kutcher to come out from the corner.
Oh,
Pumped.
Madido's birthday is next week. Please don't
Shout out
cancel
to
the year.
Madiro.
We're not gonna
Shout
cancel.
out to Madiro.
Oh, that's true. If we cancel the year, then a bunch of people are just gonna stay younger. That's not
cool,
fair.
though.
I don't
like
have a problem
that's
with
like a
that.
leap year.
But then
Exactly.
I'm already older.
I mean, Koreans have their own age and nobody.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, so man,
Koreans are
I'm
like-
telling you, you can't contest it. We can
No.
cancel the year if we want to.
It's you know how crazy it is. Like when you ask a Korean how old they are, they give you like 2 ages. They're like,
I know.
I'm
Korean
22. Here in South Africa, I'm 22, and in Korea, I'm 20.
Yeah.
Okay, but then how old are you? Like,
And then they say like biblically before I was born.
yeah, like, and in France, I'm 45. You know?
Yeah, when they're in Korea, when they're born, they're already 1 year old. That's
Yeah, because they count from conception, like in the
Yeah.
birth. Yeah, like,
Ah.
that's cool, because then, like, probably they don't really have abortion. I don't know. Or they probably do, but they see abortion differently.
My kid died.
That I don't know.
You had a kid?
All right, so I think we're gonna start with some of our stories here. This,
Yes.
this
Let's
what we were
go.
talking about has nothing to do with what we
Let's
want
get
to
it.
hear, but I thought we gotta put some names on 2020
Ooh.
because
It'll be pretty cool if
SA is Simon.
Oh,
The B guy. Hey.
the big guy.
The B guy.
Wait,
he
Jen,
do
just say
visa.
something in there. Let me just put your
Simon
they're saying
Aladdin,
we need
awesome.
To put it a bit louder.
Can
On
you hear me
Weijan.
now? The Weijan is speaking. That's the way.
The way. Oh,
Right.
I was gonna be like, hey, Wei
We
Jen,
got you.
remember way back then in January
That's what.
when
That's why I love like I don't know being in Wyoming. You can just make puns all day.
you can just make puns all day.
All day.
Very cool. So tell me, we do have a couple of stories here. So before we started this whole thing, we were actually already laughing here, and because we all have like crazy stories and scary stories and funny stories. So we want to hear some of them, and we also wanna hear some of your stories. Can you please? Right there, you can summarize. I don't know. We have people that read real quick here.
Yeah,
But we want to
I'll
also
read,
hear some of
so-
your stories. We have some of ours here. And yeah, let's see what we have, right?
Yes.
So Dylan, do you want to? Well, I think Dylan is the collector.
I have a bunch of outreach stories, like just in my pocket that I take out when I'm feeling sad. So I'll start with this one. So we were in Namibia, and we were right like in the north of Namibia in a place called Rundu, and it's actually on the border of Namibia and Angola. So you can walk to this river and see on the other side Angola. So, like, we didn't really have meat for 3 weeks, so we had to be like use foods that are protein, you know, like
Rich,
beans,
yeah.
and we had made bean patties. We were basically vegans, you know. So for like 3 weeks of my life was a vegan, and yeah, so we're traveling from one location to the next location, and one of our students, he decides, okay, he's gonna make lunch. And I'm like, cool, you make lunch. But like, if you've been going for weeks with like just food that's like makeshift and you know just not normal meals, you really want a nice Saturday lunch. And so this guy decides to take the leftovers from the last day, which was leftover rice, and he put it in he put the leftover rice in one of those Tupperware, those ice cream Tupperware buckets, and then just took canned peaches and just threw it in there and mixed it all up. And then it was just like, here's lunch. And I was like, what?
For the whole team?
And not just that, like, he prepared it in the morning and we were driving for like 2 hours, 3 hours. So there's like canned peach sweat also because, you know, like when you close the Tupperwares and it gets hot. Dude just was like, yeah, this is normal where I'm from. And I was like, no, this is not. Like, no one eats rice. And you know, canned peaches has that like liquid.
Yes.
Like he mixed that in the
Wait,
rice.
was it
dude.
sweetened canned peach?
Yeah.
Sweetened.
With rice. It's like,
With syrup.
dude, I was like, I could eat a raw onion with rice. Rather than, like, yeah, so that's one I was like shocked. I'm still scarred for life. Like when my parents or like somebody pulls out canned peaches, I just like,
You go like,
Run,
what's going on?
dude, like, yeah, I was shook. So
This is very cool, guys.
Shame, I'm sorry,
I
Dylan.
also have one story. Okay, I have to say this story.
Go ahead, man.
So in Cambodia, right, and the ministry that we had in Cambodia was like a bit far from where we were located, where we stayed. So we had bikes, and there's a lot of people driving bikes everywhere in Siem Reap, where we were, this town in Cambodia. And this one day, myself, Stanley, and another person, like we were driving to soccer because every Sunday we played soccer. And then on the way, like, because I'd always get so confident, like I know where I'm going. I know where we stay, and I just drive back, and then I got lost, and guys, it was dark, and I've never like felt that lost ever in my life. Like I was so lost, like I had no idea which way to go, because I was thinking if I just go in that direction, I'll get home, you know. But what if that's the opposite direction of the house where we stay in, and I'm just like going on forever, and I don't know. It felt like the Amazing Race, but at the same time, it felt like a nightmare. I was like, yeah, so, and then all of a sudden, yeah, like one of the teammates, like they came and found me, but I didn't know what to do for like that whole like 8 minutes of my life. I was so lost.
8
like,
minutes. I thought I was gonna die.
So don't get lost in Asia.
So talking about Asia, Wei Jen was telling us some funny stuff that happened. to her. So, Weijan, do you want to maybe tell one
Sure.
of those?
Yeah. So on one of my outreaches to Vietnam and Cambodia, we did a lot of human trafficking, like anti-human trafficking work, going into clubs, bars, speaking with prostitutes and guests there. And the only 2 times that we left the city was to go to this one village in Cambodia. So my team was 26 people. It was kind of crazy. All of us trying to do all that craziness. So at the end of this outreach, we published all our artworks because it was an arts DTS. We
that's
published
dope.
all our artworks,
Cool.
especially in the context of fighting human
Yeah,
trafficking
yeah.
That's
and
dope.
just our experience from it. We titled this book, "Nope, It's Real," and people
Whoa.
thought, "Oh, that's a cool title."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, actually, people don't know. This is not part of any newsletters I've written.
Oh, that's cool.
That I was in this village, sleeping in this mosquito net. I've shared it with my German friend. And middle of the night, I just got awakened by this rustling that I heard the rustling, and then something crawled up my arm. And then I get up, and I'm like,
Hallelujah.
what was that? And it was so dark, and I couldn't see anything. And I'm just like checking everywhere in my mosquito net and trying not to wake her up.
No.
And then I'm like, okay, nothing. So I'll just go back to sleep. So I go back to sleep, and then I feel it crawl over my leg this time. I was like, oh no. So I get up, and I'm frantically looking for this, whatever this is, in my mosquito net. And then my German friend wakes up, and she's like, wait, Jan, what's going on? And I'm like, I don't want to wake anyone up here, but there's something in our mosquito net. And she's like, you can see her like just getting up. Okay,
not a
let's
mosquito.
figure this out. And so we're just like looking for this thing, and then we see it finally with this flashlight. We see it at the corner of this mosquito net, and we're like, no, how do we catch this? How do we catch
What-
this?
What was it?
Till today, it's a mystery. We don't know.
Some
So
Cambodian bug.
we don't know. I think it could have been a rat or a frog. It was really hard to tell because it was super dark, and we had this like tiny little flashlight. But
my gosh.
because of that, we are trying to be so quiet, but then it didn't work. All our friends woke up, and the moment I said, "Oh, guys, I don't know what this is. It could be a rat or a frog." This one girl woke up. She sleepwalked outside because she heard the word frog. She just sleepwalked
nope.
all the way out. She's like,
I'm not doing
nope,
this.
nope. And she walked out, and we had to like, Vanessa, come back. And then we had to drag her back into the room, and then she slept. And another guy woke up from his dream, and he's like, is this a dream or is this real life? And my German friend goes, nope, it's real.
How many outreaches have you been on? Like,
Oh man,
do you know?
I've lost count, but I've been to 21 countries so far, and some
Wow.
return trips. So
That's
yeah,
dope.
Crazy.
That's dope.
it's
Guys,
nice.
we have a lot of people like they're giving their shout outs here on the chat, so we need to talk to them. a little
No.
bit.
Yes.
So
My sister.
Yes.
Anna
Yeah.
Marissa.
yeah, Anna
I
is
send you a
there.
kiss and a hug.
You know, I saw Daniel's here, Danielle.
Danielle.
Yeah,
Who's this Dunny?
from
Hey,
he's in
Danny.
Baril.
Bahrain.
Bahrain.
Balai Daniel.
Hey,
It's a new place.
Bahrein
hello.
with Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah.
Hello,
And Anderson.
Yo,
J
from
Bay.
J Bay.
Yeah.
Surf and skate DTS.
Hey guys.
Skate and surf. Surf.
Jen was
Who
saying
else?
the best part, not the best part, but she was saying like the whispering.
The dramatic.
We got Cody.
ASMR.
Kodak.
There is some people are writing here that you should talk about Namibia.
Okay, I have another.
Yes, Namibia.
The desert.
The desert.
Okay, so
I don't know which one's funny.
Okay,
Legendary.
so I got lost in the desert. For those that don't know, so everyone in the comments, like literally. So I've been to I visited
Shout out to Matt.
Namibia like 3 times. Like shout out Mateus.
Shout out Mateus. Woo.
Like 3
Mateo.
times I visited Namibia on 3 different occasions, and like literally went all over Namibia. And then we went to Swakopmund, I think it's called, and a lot of people don't know that, but Namibia is one of the places in the world. I don't think it's the only place where there's a desert and a sea like right next to each other.
It's
So
gorgeous.
that's
Gorgeous.
dope. So
I've flown over that. I've seen that. Yeah.
that's dope because like desert, no water, dry, and then like ocean,
Ocean,
wet,
abundance,
You know,
yeah.
like, super wet. So anyway, like we stayed with this, with this like farming couple that had like they had creche, children's school there for the kids in from the different, how could I say, like surrounding areas.
Nice.
And but it wasn't really active because it's in a desert.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Yeah.
and yeah, so we just thought we're just gonna take this week off and just regroup as a team. And man, like it's so crazy because in the day it's really hot, but at night it's so cold in the desert. Like I didn't know that. I had no idea. So this day I'm like, you know what? I need time alone. I need to go pray. I need to go just do my thing. I'm gonna climb to the dunes. Now, when you see the dunes, it looks close, but it's so far. And like there was cattle and goats walking around.
Roaming around.
Yeah, and some trees. So I thought, I'm just gonna walk straight to the trees, and then I'm gonna, then I'll be there at the dune. So I walk straight to the trees. That's already like 45 minutes, and I drink all my water, and I'm like, I'm done. And then like my battery dies. I'm like, oh my gosh. But I walked 45 minutes. I'm not gonna go back. Like I have to. And the dune looks so close, and I get like past where there's trees, and then it's just sand, like just sand. And
Dylan.
I walk,
Oh my gosh.
and then I realize, because from far you don't see it, but I walk, and then there's like, the sand goes down, and it's just like this, and it's just like a bunch of sand, like up and down, mini hills, and then there's like the dune that I want to get to. And I was like, am I going to do this? Yes. And I just like go for it, and like I run, and there's no one inside. There's no animal. There's no birds inside. And I just run. I'm like, God, I can do this. I can do this. And I'm just like a super Christian at this moment. I'm like freaking David. I'm just like, I'm going. And I get to the dune finally, and like my water's done. My battery's flat. It's been like an hour and something. The sun is at its highest, like it's like 1 o'clock, like in the day, and I missed lunch already. I was like, and so then I take my T-shirt, of course, and I wrap it around my head,
Of course.
and then I was like, you can't go straight up, like when you climb a dune, you have to go like zigzag, because if you go straight up, like the sand gets overwhelming, and you can like. When you put your
Really,
foot
is that
down,
a fact? It's like
when you put your foot
tactics.
down,
didn't even
I only
know that.
figured out then. This is the first time.
Man
And,
versus wild.
And then I like to share this part because it was really like dramatic, and those dramatic spiritual moments that you have with God alone. And I was like, God, this dune is so big. And God is like, like this giants in your life that you can face. And I was like, if I can conquer this dude. But literally I thought I was going to die. Like when I got and the sand is so hot. It's so hot, but it was so beautiful. And yeah, and then that's not when I got lost. When I got lost is when I was on my way back. So like when I got back, I was like, oh snap, I don't know which direction I have to go in. Like I don't know which way I came. Like, I always feel really confident in the moment, but afterwards I'm like, oh no, I'm actually lost right here. And it was actually the cattle that I could just find my way back because the cattle was walking like far off in the distance. But that's only like after 15 minutes of being lost and frantic and thinking I'm going to die from like hyperventilation, like lack of moist. But yeah, it was crazy.
I was telling them before that we had in YWAM in Brazil we had this old combi that we used to as transportation for our mobile team, and the car is too old, and we use it to go from places to places. And that's one time we were going to travel somewhere, and then someone staff from the base were driving us to the bus station with that combi, and the place where we would he would drop us was right in front of next to a bar, like a shabin, like a place where there was a lot of drunk people sitting everywhere. And as we stopped, our friend came to open the door of that old combi, and it was a sliding door, and when he opened the sliding door, the door just fell like boom, and then this huge noise in the middle of the street, and everybody looking at us. And then one drunk guy, he stands up, and then he looks at our car, and then he's like, "Oh, look at their car! It's just like those clown cars in circus that falls apart."
The drunk guy.
And we were like, "I'm not getting out of this car, man." Everybody's looking at us. But that car, it broke with us endless times in the most like crazy situations. One time it broke with us in a hallway, like, like interstate like roads. So we were in the middle of nowhere. And I have a friend that he was like very crafty, like Yaku, he gets like two
Shout out to
strings and
Yaku,
he
shout
builds
out to
a
Yaku.
robot. Yeah, so I had a friend like that, and then it broke with us, and none of us, we were like mechanics or anything. And he got outside of the combi, and then he was only on his underwears. He went under the combi. He got like a little drum thing, and then he tied a string because it was a string that goes from the clutch, and something like that broke.
Oh, man.
So he figured out it was raining and dark, and he was on his underwear under the car. He figured out a way to make that string work.
Connect
So we
the-
drove another like 200 k's
Yo.
Oh,
with the car
man.
like that.
Yo.
It was like
Man.
amazing. And we were freaking out in the car. We were like, man, they could just come here and rob us and kill us, and we don't know what's going on, And he's outside, he's under the car, and I'm with the flashlight, and the rain
Guys,
just pouring.
I feel I have to
It was
honor.
crazy.
I feel I have to honor Daniel. He just put it here like the proper way to say Bahrain.
Bahrain.
Yeah.
Bahrain.
And also he says like here. He said like a little bit later. Miss you big time, guys. Even you're struggling to remember who I am. So
No,
Yo,
we remember you.
we remember-
McDonald's. We remember you because I know you love McDonald's.
And
and soccer.
And I remember you on the soccer field, my friend.
Exactly.
I spoke to Daniel another day,
Yeah.
and then he sent me a picture to show how he's been working out like a lot.
Yeah.
Hey.
And he showed me a picture. I was like, I don't see like any workout. And then he's like, it's 3 weeks that I'm not eating any burgers, not drinking cold
Oh,
drinks.
shit.
Dude, I would always see Danny at like just McDonald's. Like either McDonald's or the soccer field, like nowhere else. Like,
That's true.
guys, I have this one story.
Wait. Can I
Oh,
just?
yes.
Because my sister is here. Can you guys say hi to Amy?
Oh, hi.
Yo,
Thank
the
you very
legendary
much.
Amy.
Thank you
Hi,
very
Amy.
much.
Miss
Okay.
you, Amy.
You have a story of Amy?
Yes.
You want to tell us?
But I can tell. You
Okay.
can do it. You can go first.
So
Amy.
this is a story of when I was recently in Brazil, right? So we did a lot of. We were in this favela called Parada de Lucas. Shout out to anyone that's been to Parada de
Yo.
Lucas.
Parada de luz.
That's in Rio de Janeiro. Yeah, it is so much fun. So we did a lot of door-to-door ministry, right? And we'd always visit like people that the church recommended. So one of our connections, she was like, I have a friend and she's gone through a really hard time, like, just with mental illness and everything like that, and she's been in the hospital, and can you go pray for her? Like, can you pray for her? And it's like, yeah, of course, why not? And already, like, I just so much compassion on this person, but like, I'm like ignorant when it comes to like, all like medical stuff, like, or mental illness or anything. So, we go to this girl's house and she's in the room. And we're waiting for her to come out, and I'm like, I wonder how she looks, like how she's gonna come out, or like what's gonna happen. And she comes out, and she's the most beautiful girl like we've seen. Like she is beautiful, but you can see like she's like just not caring and anything. And I'm just so like compassionate, So I'm just like,
Sure.
I like fell in love with her for like 3 minutes, but I was like so compassionate, and we're like. So usually when we go pray for people, like, tell us like what's up, like how can we pray for you? And she just starts speaking, and she's just speaking, and I'm just like, yeah, I feel you, like I resonate with you. And meanwhile, she was just swearing us out the whole time, and swearing her mother out, and like all of that, and then our translator, like, after she's like, what the heck, Dylan? Like, Cody also, shout out to Cody, because I know he was also
You say
so...
foot fingers. Is that from the same story?
Yeah, foot fingers. Foot fingers. So, like, because the translator, she couldn't say toes, she said foot fingers.
Oh,
It's like, because I don't think there's a word for toe, like the direct translation of toes in Portuguese to English is foot fingers.
yeah. For us, it's fingers in the hands and fingers in your
Yeah,
feet.
so like after falling in love with this girl and like being so compassionate, like, yeah, like we can pray for you, whatever. She was just like sweating us out the whole time. And I was like, and the translator was so mad at me. She was like, why did you keep agreeing with her? Because I was like, because she was struggling.
Oh, you told me that story. You wanted to be gentle to her.
I
but
just
you
wanted
did
to be
this one.
nice, you know. I just wanted to be
Struggling.
kind, and then I just like not having it.
That's dangerous love right there.
Dude.
Clarissa wrote here on the comments that she had one that they were driving and then they couldn't drive further anymore because it was so dark, and then they stopped and they set up their tents, and then they went to sleep. The next morning when they got up, they were surrounded by cattle.
Dude,
And
that's
people
real.
and people were around them also wondering why there were tents by the cattle. So they put their tent just like anywhere. That's dangerous.
I'm
eh?
telling you guys, like when you travel, you
African
encounter,
stories is scary.
when you travel, you encounter like crazy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
So
just,
Oh,
true.
yeah.
That's
Oh,
so
yeah.
true.
random,
sure.
like
My Lorena is saying that my friend, his name was Diego, is Diego, and he's very like handy, and he actually fixed the car with a guitar string.
Dude, that's MacGyver
Yo,
level.
that's-
MacGyver.
that's
Yo.
levels right there.
Yeah, everybody was like, "Man,
Yo,
you saved our lives."
This guy.
Yo.
What the hell?
Oh wait, no, I have to tell this story.
Dylan has a bad story.
It's all coming back to me. So, like, outreach is really unpredictable. So,
True.
like, even so, when you plan outreach, you not only planning like buying tickets to travel to a country, you also thinking about accommodation, money. You also thinking about like food, you know, money, and like
Transport
all of and like.
there.
And it's always like this faith thing where like we don't have all the money, but we're going. We're just gonna buy the tickets, whatever. We're gonna go. So Cody and myself, shout out to Cody. We were leading this outreach team to Brazil and Joburg, and so we fly in and we get to we get to Angola, and in Angola, our host that's gonna host us in Brazil says, sorry, we can't host you anymore. And we're like, okay, but we're gonna fly in the next few minutes from Angola to
Brazil.
Like we're gonna fly to Brazil and get there. And then what? Like what we're gonna do? And cause like I was like, Cody, we're not gonna tell the students. We're just gonna fly. We're just gonna fly to Brazil, and then
Great communication.
and just like
Swing it.
when we get there, like then we were just like, okay, don't worry. And so like we get to Brazil, and I'm like, and this chick is not replying to my messages. I'm like, what's happening? Like what is gonna happen? And then like she gets us, and still like doesn't say anything. And we're like, okay, like where we going? We're not going to the church. We drive for like 7 hours, like to this village. Like I'm not like in
Forest.
the middle of nowhere. I asked Brazilians, where are we? They didn't even know where we are. There's like in Jundiaí, like Sao Paulo,
Oh, wow,
but
yeah.
like all the way out there. And yeah, it was just so crazy. And I saw the biggest spider of my life.
Yeah.
And that night I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this. And I'm not getting paid for this also.
Because we had a couple of outreaches from this base from Worcester to Brazil, and some of them went to Parada de Lucas,
Yeah.
which is favela right in Rio de Janeiro. It's an amazing place. The people that live there are amazing, but it's I don't know even how to say that in English, but it's a non-pacified favela in Rio, which is they have like a pacification process that's going on, and so which means there's no police inside there. It's only the guys, the drug dealers and the people that live in there. but still, like, it's an amazing atmosphere inside there. So we also, like, I had one story. I almost got killed, not by whatever gun or anything. We were staying on a 3-store building, just the boys, and one day we were having quiet time. Some of us on the first floor, second floor, some on the third floor, and as I was walking down the stairs, this whole water container, like with more than 1,000 liters of water, just came down over us. Like, it broke, and then it came washing over the whole building, and the guy shouting, like, Michael Human was up there, and he was like, Junior, are you there? And everybody, and I'm shouting the guys downstairs. I'm like, guys, are you okay? And everybody started like, I'm okay. And then I hear the other one, I'm okay. And the water just came, guys. All our backpacks and our sleeping bags, everything was on the floor. It just washed everything away. All the neighbors came. They were like, are you guys okay? Are you guys alive? We spent the next 2 days just taking, like, concrete blocks like that fell from there, and nobody hurt. Like,
Oh man.
there was not even a scratch.
Oh,
It was-
Madira said
My
she was
dude,
there.
yeah.
Hey, my dude.
It was there.
Yo.
And the girls, the fact is, there were only 2 people. I mean, all the girls, they didn't see it because they were staying in the church, and the boys were staying in the YWAM house.
Okay.
And Giovanni, Giovanni Stetner, he's in Harpenden now.
Yeah.
And Giovanni, I think he went to buy bread or something. So he wasn't there also. So when he came, he just saw all that.
Yo,
Things
That
broken.
must have been scary.
Water washed.
Oh, wow.
Even the pastor, when we told him, he was so shocked. He was like, "But are you guys okay?" I was like, "Yeah, everybody survived." But he was shocked. It was
I hope
crazy.
no one was like praying in the intercession time, like open the floodgates of heaven.
Bianca,
Instant response.
if you're still on the chats, do you remember when Pastor Naldo saw me doing that joke, and I got so embarrassed? Okay, so this is so stupid. So I used to do I had this pants that I bought in Brazil, but I was getting really like fat in Brazil because you eat so good, and my button broke, and my zip broke. So but this is like the only like pants I had, like during outreach. So going to church, I could only wear that pants. So I took pins to like make it tight. And I would always like walk and it would just open, just like randomly. But like with our group, the group from the DTS, like I'd always make like jokes like pee 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 pee. And the last day of the outreach, and the pastor was so pleased with me throughout the whole. Like he's a great guy, and I still send him messages. So he wasn't that like, but then like he saw me doing the pee like. When my pants went down, I was like, pee, pee, pee.
Oh, that's the team leader.
Bianca saying, don't do this, don't tell this.
Speaking of pans, I got peed on by a baby that I was feeding, and then I had to hand wash it, and then I put it on the line, and it got stolen with my underwear. So my host had to drive me to the nearest market to get me new underwear.
Oh no!
That was in Vietnam,
That's
in a convent.
In a convent. So the nuns stole your...
No, it was the orphans. The orphans stole it.
Oh man!
What's the nuns?
It wasn't.
I also have a pants one. This is my outreach,
Oh, you have a
and
pants one.
and we were in Zambia. This was like towards the end of this time in Zambia. We're there for I think about a month, and we're playing with these kids at an orphanage. This specific day was pretty cold, and I was wearing like the only pair of pants that I had for the 6 months of my DTS. I had one pair of pants, and like it fit me pretty well. I wouldn't. It was like somewhat tight, and I was playing with these kids for like the whole morning, and I would come in contact with the kids and go talk to the teachers, and like we're just hanging out at this orphanage that had a school in it as well. And at one point, I came up to a teacher, and she was like super awkward, and I was like, "What's going on?" And I went up to another one to talk to him, and like he was also really awkward. And I was like, man, something's really like wrong. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And the kids are laughing at me, and they're like pointing at me in the distance, and some come up behind me and like poke me. And then I was like, what's going on? And then eventually one boy, like after, I don't know, a good hour playing with these kids, one boy comes to me and he's like, he points behind me, and I was like, what's going on? So I take my phone and I stretch it out behind, like turn on the selfie screen, stretch it out behind, and I just see like my whole pants is torn at the back, and like in this part of Zambia, like you don't even show your legs. Like,
Oh Lord.
man, it was horrible.
And your butt
And
was
yeah,
showing
and for the rest of the day, we're gonna. This was like maybe like in a early in the morning, and we still be there till like 4 o'clock.
Yo.
And I was like,
sad.
oh man,
What
this
did
is.
you do?
Yeah, then I had to like I was wearing I had like a coat on, and then I just had to wear a coat around my waist. And the kids would just come around me. But I have this really cool photo because the moment that I went to check with my selfie camera, I snapped a photo, and all these kids are looking at the same time. So it's a
that's
really cool photo
Oh, that's cool.
of me with a torn butt. I see.
Post it on your story so
Yeah.
we can go there and check.
Yeah.
Oh, what I
Liz,
see.
do you want to tell us about
Oh,
that
yes.
beautiful family story?
Yes. So my parents used to work with natives and in the north of Brazil for a while, and people will come to them, like groups of people, to learn more about natives and their life, how to work with them, and all of that. So they did have like this tiny little course seminar that they will run through a week, and by the end of the week, they're gonna have like a local experience. You know, they were gonna go to the forest and have something really fun. Okay, but this didn't happen to me. It happened to my brother and sister, Kaya and Amy. So thank you for not letting me tell this, but I'm gonna tell them anyways. So what my parents would ask them is that they would just like, if you didn't see natives in the north of Brazil, they don't wear much.
They're naked.
Yeah, they're pretty much naked. So, and their bodies are painted in the specific tribe. They're painted red. And then that's it. So my parents kindly asked Caio and Amy when they were around like 9, 8, around that time, to just go into the forest and hide behind the trees. So when this group of students come, they will kind of like surprise them and give them like a shout out, you're natives, you're here. The problem is that they were, of course, very embarrassed about it, but like, they were like super skinny and a little bit like walking funny and stuff. So it was more like awkward.
Yeah.
It was funny for people that were watching them, but
Watching.
it was awkward for
Not
them.
for
I'll say
them.
that.
Yo.
Yes. Can you imagine, like if you're 9 or 7 and you're just walking in the
man.
forest naked? Yeah.
Like, Dad, Mom, you're not forgiven.
Exactly. Trauma for us.
Missionary kid's life.
I have two quick stories. One that also involved pants, and another one that Lorena is reminding me here on the chat. One is we were once doing a open air outreach, so performing dramas and dance and things. It was like on a festival in a city in Brazil, and we had like around, I don't know, like 150, 200 people around us, and we were performing. So then we come to this drama, The Champion. It's like a super old drama in YWAM, but pretty famous, and it was very popular with people on the streets. And then we had the whole team set up to do that, and then we had this guy that he was Jesus, you know. So towards the end of The Champion, it's like Jesus and Satan, they have like this fight, like almost like a box fight, you know, like.
Yeah,
And
I know
then,
that one.
and then when Satan
the devil,
is defeated, and then the angels come, and then Jesus, and then it says, and Jesus is the champion. So my friend, when he went, so he was right in the middle. He was the Jesus. And then when it says, and Jesus is the champion, as soon as he raised his hand, like to celebrate the victory, his pants came down, like fully, like to his ankles, like, and then he was like this, and then everybody realized, all the people around started laughing.
Shame.
The angels, the guys that were playing, they started laughing.
Even
so
the angels.
everybody just lost it. So he grabbed it and then he walked back like real quick. But it was like, for me, was one of the most awkward like evangelism, open air evangelism times that we had. It
man.
was, and I think he will forever. His name is Johnny. He will be
Oh,
forever,
that's even
forever
funnier.
remembered by that. And there's another story is the one that Lorena is saying here. It's kind of a cute story. It's not that funny. It's on our DTS. We were engaged, Lorena and I. So we went to 2 different locations for outreach. So Lorena went with her team to Peru, and so she went up on the mountain somewhere, like
That's dope.
really remote place. So she was isolated. Like,
Yo.
and I was in a small town in Brazil. So there was no phones, eh? No smartphones, WhatsApp,
Back in the
nothing
day.
like that. Like back in the day, that's 2003. So the way that we had was like Lorena would write letters, or I would write letters to her. So as soon as I got to that church, or before we even left for outreach, we got the address of the church that I would stay, and then Lorena said, "I'm gonna write."
I
and
wish
whatever.
someone wrote me a letter.
So we were already through the first month of outreach, and nothing, no letters, nothing. And then I was like, maybe it's just not possible. It's never gonna come or anything. So we were about to leave that first location to go to another location. One day, that's the main service of the church. About towards the end of the church, the pastor calls me in front. The church's packed. And then he calls me and says, "Junior, come here in front." And then I'm like, in the middle of the service, I'm like, my goodness, what happened? And I was a student, so I was like, why have I done?
Oh, man.
You know, and then he calls me, and then he comes with, I don't remember what he said, but it sounded really serious. And I was like, my goodness, it wasn't me. I don't know what he's talking about. And then he goes with this whole speech just to hand me like two letters from Lorena that have arrived like those
Long ago.
yeah,
or
like
something
no,
like that.
so on those days, but he
Yeah.
kept it, you know, like to make this big thing. But I was like, I had no reaction, you know, because I wanted to cry. I was like, I was waiting for this, but I wanted to hold it because the whole church, people that I don't know, are looking at me, and then I'm like, my goodness, it was so awkward, man.
Yo.
But at the same time, it was the best thing.
It
Wow,
was an
like,
act of love.
yo, it was really hard. I'm
Yeah.
telling you guys, if you're engaged, don't go to two different locations.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
hard.
yeah.
Go to the
It
same
was-
one.
It was challenging for us, but at the end, we're happy.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest thing that you've eaten on outreach?
Ooh.
Like, or the most like difficultest food? Jan, maybe we can start because like you've been places.
Oh man. Well, I have a hashtag.
Yeah,
Things I never thought I'd say. That's my hashtag.
yeah.
So this is one thing I never thought I'd say. Guys, I have a deep fried cockroach wing stuck between my teeth.
Oh my gosh.
So you ate cockroaches.
Yeah, someone bought it just
Nice.
thinking that she can do this, she can like conquer this, and then she
Yeah.
couldn't go through with it. So she gave it to the only Asian on the team because Asians can handle
offensive.
this.
Very
Oh,
offensive.
Very
man.
offensive.
Very racist.
But I also had deep fried cockroaches actually in Asia.
Does it taste good?
You know, it tastes like salt. You know,
Depends on what it's cooked in.
Crunchy salt.
I had like this whole moment where I was like, I'm gonna get back at every cockroach ever, you know, and I'm gonna eat. You know, I think I seen Men in Black. Like, oh, that was your auntie. And then he steps in and it's like, oh, that must have been your uncle. And then it's like, yeah.
I've had crocodile or alligator. I think it's alligator.
Oh, that's cool.
Alligator tail, like in Brazil. In that city, the same city of the letter story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty delicious.
It is.
Sorry,
like
man.
When I was in
Sorry, Jen.
Zimbabwe, I had goat intestines. That one, hey, you guys know what I'm talking about?
Oh, man.
Where's all the people from West Africa and you know, so it's kind of you know what a Kinder egg is. So it's like you can't just open it to see what is inside. You just take it
Yeah.
and put it, and that's it.
Yeah.
So they made a whole traditional table for us. So there was that intestines, you know, the little Kinder eggs, and then there were like some caterpillars as well, which I actually
Grubs.
really like.
The punny worm?
Wow.
Caterpillars,
Oh,
yeah.
like the
green
grub,
ones,
yeah.
Okay.
the dry ones.
Ah,
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
I've like so the team, like most of the team was like, no, thank you, and I was like, yeah, you can give it to me. I'll take that one. It's like chips, but
oh man.
alive.
Yeah.
Sam,
Guys, Ashton put it here that the weird thing that she ate on outreach was kudu tongue.
Wow. Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Sounds fancy.
tongue.
That sounds like a
Yeah.
nice
I-
restaurant kind of vibe.
I by accident ate dog.
What? What do you mean?
That does happen.
Okay, so
Like a
also,
Namibia.
yeah, in Namibia.
was in Namibia?
So like we're in this village, Ovitoto, right?
Ovitoto.
And Burger, shout out to Burger, but I know you're not watching this, Burger.
Of course not.
But Burger was with me, and who else? I think Cody also. And we built in this house for this lady and her son and a daughter. and they babies. And so, out of their kind hearts, and they come and they bring us this food, and it was really like sweet. It was really like, wow, this is all they can give us, and that's they're gonna give us. And in the moment, it was like, okay, like it was this soggy wet bread, like dough. It was like, okay, cool. And then there was this like red, dried out meat that tasted like biltong, but it was like a bit moist, but like dry. And I was like, wow, okay, what? This is interesting. And like, I turned, and like one of us turned to the boy and like, what was that? And he points to the door. He points to the door. And I was like, I've never seen meat this red before. And I was like, there's no turkeys running around here. I know. There's no guinea fowls.
Cody's saying that he remembers. It says you think so low
Oh,
of
he
him.
said that Burger's also watching with him.
Right.
Oh,
Sam, have you eaten balut?
Yeah,
in
so
the Philippines?
Simon mentioned here in the
Love you.
comments, Sam,
love
the
you.
balut, smiley face. Yeah, so we're in the Philippines,
What is a
and balut is the duck egg that is 18 days old.
It's
Oh,
like
there's a
almost
pizza.
close to being a chick.
Yeah, so it's
What?
it's somewhat developed before
Yeah.
before the bone hardens. It's
like
just
the
the
embryo,
yeah, it's like
yeah.
the
Like a
cartilage.
fetus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A fetus,
The
yeah,
fo-
yeah.
The fetus, yeah.
Is it fetus? I don't know, but
So-
it's that egg.
Yeah.
Almost a chick.
Yeah, and it's
Do you
like,
eat it?
not the kind of thing you in the Philippines you wouldn't expect this to be a delicacy, but people love this in
Yeah.
the Philippines.
Is it
like
delicious?
every time they want to celebrate, they say, "Hey, let's go have balut together," and they'll go to the street. And it's kind of like in Brazil, you have those vendors that sell
Yeah.
burgers. They have those vendors that sell balut, literally like in styrofoam containers, like warmed
Yeah.
eggs.
And the
And you
sauce
know-
is like what, vinegar and salt?
Yeah.
Like you just like stand there and like sprinkle some salt
Nice
and like.
comparison there.
Yeah, like
Eggs with chicks and
I mean,
burgers.
the
Yeah.
taste is
But
kind
now-
of like a hard-boiled egg, but crunchier.
and
No.
and
Just like, oh.
and with little feathers, and if you dig
Yeah.
around, you can make out what part is what. It's that detailed. But here's the thing: we finished a full day with these kids on the base in the Philippines, the YWAM Cebu, and these guys are like coming up with a surprise. I could see something was happening in
Yeah.
between them, and they're like, "We have four eggs here for you guys." And they come with this red plastic bag, and like one of the eggs is like already somewhat broken and like leaking. And I'm like, that looks disgusting. They're like, well, who's gonna eat this? And like, none of us want to eat it. And they're like, no, it's delicious. Like you gotta eat it. And I remember them mentioning like, you don't deny food in Asia. So I was like, guys, we have
Kinda
to
true.
accept this. Like we have to accept this. And Pastor Mark took up the challenge, and a few of our other guys, I can't really remember well.
Shout out to
Maybe-
Pastor
Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah, maybe you can
Yeah,
remind. And
Pastor
Mark is just like going in it, and he's eating the stuff up and putting vinegar, because vinegar is like to get that taste
Yeah.
away.
I actually
Yeah.
have a story in line with
like
my
eating
balut
oyster.
experience.
Yeah.
But it did not happen in the Philippines. So I know it to be a Filipino delicacy, but I actually tried it for the first time in Cambodia. So it was maybe a week after Khmer New Year. So they have this
The
celebration.
water fight.
The
Yeah.
water-
Khmer New Year. So I was in Cambodia, and then my Cambodian friend was like, so we're going to have a belated celebration, and we bought a bunch of balut eggs, and we're going to boil it and going to serve it in our Cambodian style. And I'm like, cool, sure. Not that I've ever had it, sure. So this was already like 9 p.m. We've done eating dinner. Like some of these Cambodians were ready to sleep, but this is like their late night supper snack
This is what they
thing.
do, like.
Yeah. So like all of us are just sitting in the girls' dorm, and they're like handing out the eggs. Each girl would receive 5 eggs.
Oh my god.
And I was like, oh, I mean, I'm down, like I'm game for trying it, but like 5 at once, this is too much. And on top of that, they would serve this energy drink on the side, and it's like this bloody red, like I don't know, like some artificial red color drink. And I'm just like, okay, I can do this. So their style, it's slightly different from the Filipino style, because the Filipinos would put salt and vinegar on the balut, like cooked
Yeah.
balut. This one was cooked in a bunch of herbs and like, so they had a lot of like fresh herbs as well. Like it's like, ooh, it's very fresh and like green and fancy. So I ate one. I'm like, okay, cool. It's like just get over the fact that there's some crunchiness. Just eat it. Just eat it like an egg. And I finished 3 eggs. And then my friend was like, oh, I'm almost done with mine. I can't finish it all. I'm like, you're taking my 5th one. So both of us had 4. So I downed the whole thing, and everything was fine. I was like, cool, I conquered this. I didn't squirm. Everything's fine. I didn't hate it. Next morning, 6 in the morning, I wake up. My tummy was gurgling like mad because remember I had this energy drink to go along with these 4 eggs, and this
Oh,
is
you
like
gotta
what?
wash it down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like 9:30 at night. So it's like very close to sleeping time, no time to
No,
digest.
no, no.
And that was my first experience of a double dragon. Out in the front, out at the back. Yeah, so it was
All right.
that's something we did not put in the newsletter.
Like, you
Please
go-
sponsor me on my next
go,
outreach.
Go deal with that.
That's what they call double dragon.
You know, we had one experience in the Amazon. Last time we went on outreach there. So Sharon, Deco, the guys that were with me,
Yeah.
and we were all in this lady's little farm, and as we enjoying a meal with her, she cooked like amazing food, and we enjoying the meal, and we had this meat that it looked a little bit like Sinead was there also, some of the guys, and she cooked this delicious chicken type thing, and she put that on the table, and it looked really nice, but the meat was more like towards turkey, you know, like a bit tougher. And we were like, interesting. And then at some stage, like I was like, so what kind of bird is this one? And then she said the name, which is like an Amazon name that I have no idea which bird it is. So I was like, okay, so I'm gonna check it on Google or something just to see the bird, you know. So when I go on Google,
Good job,
that
Google.
is like
Trust
it's
Google.
a bird in the Amazon that's like going to extinction. Really? It's like black market, like super black market. You can't eat that thing. And then I was like, her name was Danila. She's an amazing lady. You know Danila. You know her from Amazon. She's friends with your parents. Like,
Of course
she was
she
one
is.
of our hosts there. She's crazy. So she was just like, I was like, Danila, it says you're weak. That's like black market. We can't have. She's like, no, you just go down to town and you buy it.
Black market.
So I told the guys, we're eating this bird that it's like we could go to jail to eat this bird.
Do you remember the name of the bird?
No, I don't remember. I can check and post it, but it's like those Amazon names, like it's.
Oh my gosh.
Ararazu.
No. It was big. It was like it's like a black bird. You know, it's big. But
Man.
you shouldn't eat that, guys. Don't eat that bird. Whatever it's called, you know, you shouldn't.
Geographic is eavesdropping right
Just
now.
make sure you Google it before you eat it.
One key for outreach is someone wrote it here. On outreach, they give it to you, you eat it, you know? Even in the Bible, like when Jesus sends the disciples, he
Ask
says,
questions
whatever they
afterwards,
give
yeah.
you to eat, you eat.
But the
That's
trick-
what Jesus says in there, you know? So you eat.
Bless it and eat it.
The
Yeah.
trick is always to have chili sauce on you. Always have chili
Yeah,
sauce.
good
That's
tip.
true. That's
Good
But
true.
you know what? Chili sauce can never overcome liver. I hate liver. In Namibia, they will brine fast.
In Namibia again.
In Namibia again.
Yo.
They're like, we're gonna brine
This
fast.
land of
Cool,
Namibia.
brine, have fun, brine fast. And they brine, and I'm like, and now just like, oh, this is a nice steak that we're gonna eat because it looks like, dude, my mouth liver. I'm like, what type of liver is this? Horse liver. No way.
Horse liver. Dude.
How do
So
they
the guy-
get these foods?
Lorena is telling me to not share those things because that's evidence for a crime. So,
Black market.
but guys, actually we're like 10 minutes over an hour. So it's fun, eh? We're enjoying it. It's been really good. But we're gonna have to end it. We don't want to make it so long so that the people that want to watch it afterwards, they can still watch it. You know, go through the painful 1 hour, but I promise you it's fun. So for everybody that has joined us up to here, man, thank you so much.
Yes, by the way, we love Jesus. We didn't speak about him directly, but we do all those crazy things because we do love Jesus and we want to spread his love.
That's really good. I just want to maybe make a comment on what Liz is saying there, that, guys, the reason why we're having this podcast here is that also that we can entertain you guys also, talk about fun stuff, because we believe that life needs to be that also. We could just put a podcast here where we go through biblical things and we talk theology and things. There's a whole bunch of podcasts out there that can do that. You can just look for them and find it. But this podcast, this one here, it's meant to be fun. It's meant to be relaxing.
Yeah.
So every Tuesday, 9 p.m., we're gonna be here. We're gonna be talking about stuff, and we're gonna be laughing with you guys. And
Yes.
you're most welcome to join us.
Yeah,
All right?
I was listening to one of this like sermons the other day, and this guy was speaking about how how jazz can't live without blues, and how blues can't live without jazz, and like how jazz originated from the blues, and so it's two contrasts. It's like sad and happy music, but they need each other to be
There
uniquely
you go.
that music. So that's why we're trying to just put a smile on you guys' faces in this
Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
time, because you also need to don't forget the good times and the good things.
Exactly.
Mm.
There's no
Guys-
recipe, and if we
Yeah.
need to talk serious stuff here, we will.
Then we're gonna,
You know.
you
And
know.
Lyle,
that's
just
it.
show up here. Lyle, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yo, Lyle, you just missed the
Wow.
balut. Lyle actually ate some balut too, so there we go. Yeah.
Really?
Good job,
Well
Lyle.
done, Laya.
Yes.
He was like, it's good, and I was like, you're crazy, man.
So Madira just wrote here, Jesus is winning with Pastor Fola's voice. Well done, Madira.
Shalom.
So
Shalom.
guys, final shout outs there so we can
Final
end.
shout out to my mother. Love you. Love everyone that tuned in for today.
Auntie
Yes.
D.
Yeah, let us know more what you guys wanna hear about.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
like, we have some unique bunch of people here on the base, that have unique stories, unique lives, and I think it's cool to hear, what
Yeah.
people go through and their stories, and in a fun and entertaining way.
Yeah.
So one of the options are, what was it? PC3. What were you guys called?
TCK.
TCK. So those are
Third.
Culture
cultured
kids.
kids. So those are kids that have grown outside of both of their parents' cultures and
Host cultures.
host culture. So
Yeah.
that actually they grow up with their own type of culture for themselves. So that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
And we
Everyone's unique.
can, we
Yeah,
can
I
explore
want-
into more of those
I
stuff.
want also to have one here that soon that we have some of the guys a little bit more diverse. I don't know if we can have more people maybe. I don't know how to
Squeeze
adapt
in
it.
everyone.
Yeah, but that we kind of talk a little bit about our own culture, like we say food, and
that's
then
true.
we say
Ooh, that's
in
cool.
my culture
Malaysia.
we sit around the table and we eat this. Music, we play this instrument. You know, like
That's
we
cool.
kind of see
That's cool.
all the
That's dope.
different cultures. We have.
I like it.
It's
That's
really
fresh.
rich here, and we can
We have
talk
a bunch of different
yeah,
people.
so final shout outs. You want to give your social media there, or be famous?
Stay tuned.
Say thank you
Dylan
for
the
a
Ethan.
sponsor.
Like,
Yes.
comment,
Episode is
subscribe.
coming soon.
Maybe at Sprout the Potato on Instagram. Maybe.
Yes,
Maybe.
please.
Maybe.
We'll try. We'll see.
Maybe.
I wanna say thank you to Coca-Cola for sponsoring this episode.
Coca-Cola.
No
Shout
way.
out to New Wave
That's
Tour.
a joke. New Wave Tour.
New
Yeah.
Wave Tour.
New Wave Tour,
and,
please.
uh,
please
Shout out to
sponsor
New
us.
Wave Tour. You want to sponsor us? You see that live podcast there? That could be the New,
New Wave
Tour logo.
Tour.
Wow.
Oh,
you go.
New Wave Tour. Let me just give you a hint, okay? Give us mugs with your symbol on it, and we can drink out of it. Just put it out there.
Or give
Come
us
on, Paulinho.
money, give us money in the mugs, and then we'll also be good with that.
Sipping on money the whole time.
So, thank you so much, Sam, Lise, Wajan, Dylan, Danny,
Cool.
right here next to us,
You have the picture.
straight on the comments, and yeah,
Someone
Hey.
found the picture.
To end off,
found
here's
a
the
picture.
here's
Okay.
the picture.
we're gonna end with Sam showing the picture to
Yes.
you guys of the
Bye.
pants.
Bye.
Bye bye, everyone. That's an amazing
Oh my
photo, man.
gosh.
I love that. I really love that.
in the moment. That was in the. I was like,
I love it.
and I looked up, and they're all there. So that's the picture.